What's going on, guys? It's Rookie with TechBud Solutions. So thank you guys again for joining us for a live trading session. Right now the market's open. I was a little delayed. I ended up driving all the way from Arizona to California. Got here at 2 to 3 a.m. And I tried to set my alarm for 5:30 a.m. But I didn't wake up, and I do apologize. Right now we're almost at we're a little bit we're at the 46-minute mark since the market has opened. So I'm going to start sharing my screen and tell you guys how I chase red stocks, so losing trades, or stocks that see pullbacks and make money off of them, right? So MTBC is a perfect example. I'll talk a little bit about that. And again, I want you guys to focus on the concept that I'm talking about. In no way should you be trading based on anyone else's opinion. I want to make sure that's 100% clear. But the thing that we do so well with TechBud Solutions is that we share best practices and we share our mistakes in effort to promote growth within our growing community. We're a little bit over 20,000 members now worldwide. The link is provided for you down below if you guys would like to be a part of this. And let's go ahead and get right into it. So let me start sharing my screen so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm trading. I do want to make sure that you guys are aware that I am using the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. This is a free platform that you have access to. If you guys do not know how to download this, I do have a video within my TechBud Solutions helpful video playlist. So again, in my YouTube channel that talks about how you can have access to this live charting for free. So as long as you are within the United States, right? So MTBC, the reason that I saw this one to be so profitable, and this tends to be a very, very consistent trend that we see is, okay, so this gray area is, pre-market and then aftermarket hours. This was Friday, so today is Monday. It was trading at about like 185, 190, right? That's where the resistance was. During pre-market or aftermarket hours, it saw a slight of an upward trend. All of a sudden, maybe some news came out. Again, we're day traders, so we don't care too much where the company is going on long term, but definitely with news, a lot of hype goes into a stock, right? So essentially what happened, it saw a lot of movement during pre-market hours. And with this, with this large movement, right as the market opened, it saw a little pullback and then it saw a huge spike. Saw resistance at $2.58. Now, when I was approaching this stock, when I woke up, it was about 6:45, right? So it was a little bit or 6:50, about 20 minutes after the market opened, and you started seeing a pullback, meaning that it hit the resistance, it struggled to go above 250, and now you start seeing it, seeing a downward trend. Now, why is that important? Well, what I like to do is actually wait for these pullbacks. After it hits its peak, it identifies its resistance, it sets its pullback, and then it identifies its support. So now I know that there is let me go ahead and draw this out for you guys. Whoa. They changed this up. This must have been the update that they were talking about. Let's see. Alrighty, so the resistance. Oh. There we go. I apologize for that. So support and resistance. Support right around that 218, 217 mark. Resistance right around 248. How do I know that? Well, it struggled to go really above 250, but it hit highs of 248, and then it supports most likely around 220, as you can see right now. But it went to lows of 218. So now when it bounced, so setting up a plan, we know that you guys that it bounced at 218. Forgetting everything that happened, what could we have done better, or what could we have done to set up a plan for success? Well, we know that the support is around 218, 220. So let's say we wait for some upward momentum, right? You don't want to add to a losing trade, meaning that you don't want to invest your money into a stock that's losing money, right? That's seeing a loss. So what you can do is wait for a bounce. If we know that it's at 218, wait for it to go above 220. So let's say you get in at 221. Now, where is going to be the resistance, right? So if we saw the resistance at 248, that's the resistance within that area. Now, it has to have a support, and that is right here, since it was bouncing between that area. So it was around 235 to 248 where this level of trading was for the support and resistance. Now, when it broke below that, it started seeing a downward trend, hit the 218. So again, you set up your plan for success. You choose to get in at 221, cut losses anything below 218 because you know that that's where the current support's at, and then you sell anything as it starts to approach this 235 resistance. And you can see that when it was approaching this resistance, it was struggling to go above 233. Is there anything wrong with that? Well, not necessarily. You just have to make sure that although, yes, the resistance was or the old support was at 235, it doesn't always mean that it's always going to hit that exact point. So it ended up hitting $2.32 or $2.33. And then that would have been a good indicator that because you have access to the level two option within the T-Demerited Thinkorswim platform, that you can identify that there's too many sellers there, lock in profits or follow with a trailing stop loss, and walk away, right? And that's really what happened. Right now, how it's playing out is it hit the resistance side downward trend, the 218 support that it previously had, and now broke it and is now seeing a downward trend to 212. So now what can we expect? Well, it previously had a support right around this 210, and let's see if it holds. Right now, it's trading right around 213, 215, but I don't want to focus too much on this one right now. I want to find another stock to make money on. So what I mean is, right now, as the market is, right now as the market is, approaching more of a kind of like it's already experienced its high peak of volume right within the first 30 minutes. Now you're going to start seeing a couple pullbacks, not being able to break resistance and stuff like that. So it looks like it created a support right now around 211, and it's starting to see somewhat of an upward trend. Let's get a little bit closer. If you guys see what I'm talking about, it hit a low of 212. The RSI indicator showing that it's right around 33, 35. And then right now it's still seeing a downward trend since the SMA line is not moving up. The Bollinger Bands are actually getting a little bit more contracted. So that's good. It's showing that something's most likely going to happen. But I see more of a downward trend personally. So let me go ahead and move on and see what we can find. And again, I'm looking at the top movers. And the reason that I like looking at the top movers right now is because they're going to have a couple pullbacks. So let's go ahead and see if we can find one. And what I mean by pullbacks is SORL. This one did it a little bit different. Is it rose really, it had all its movement. It did have quite a big jump during pre-market hours. Hit a resistance, saw a pullback, but then saw an upward trend, and is now kind of plateauing out. So it's not seeing much of a pullback, one that would be worth risking, right? And that's just based on my opinion. So BIOC. Downward trend, and this is another type of trend that you see is you see all this movement as it goes up. Once the market opens, then it just sees a consistent downward trend, not necessarily a pullback. It's not something that's quick and then that pops right back up, but this is more just it's slowly bleeding back down. So we know that the old resistance was at $1.50, so maybe we'll see it flatline there. So what I can do right now is, let's see, this is BIOC. This can be one to look into, especially as they're getting a little bit more congested, but not too sure. It'll definitely have that movement or that margin for profit that we're going to be looking for. But right now it's already set its support at 152, and its resistance right around 1. Let's say if we can get above that, then that's going to start showing signs of an upward trend, and this can be one to look into. But again, you never know what can happen, so also put your alert if it breaks support. And it's as simple as that. So let's go ahead and it's actually, I think, moving up, but we'll see how it ends up playing out. CIE, VLTC. Again, I like to trade stocks a little bit more than $1, and that's personally just me. The reason why is because the risk is less and a little bit less volatile, and it's harder to cut losses or lock in profits with lower cap stocks, just because when it comes to percentages, it's harder to they move a lot quicker, so you're going to be stop lossing out a lot quicker as well. BNTC is not really seeing the volume that I want to. I mean, since it's open, it has like barely any candlesticks, a lot of dash lines, so not really interested in that. And that's just based on some rules I have set up on my RSI needs to be below 35, volume has to be over 100, and then above SMA. Again, every stock that you're trading, you want to make sure that meets your criteria. to be considered a stock worthy of your money, right? So you could sell for a profit. And if it's not, then forget about it, and move on to the next stock until you identify potential. Oh, I like that. GoPro saw a nice little spike. This has to be based on news. Alrighty. So MIKND. This is one that we see quite often, but not seeing the volume that we want, and it's the pullback that happened wasn't necessarily much. It was a couple cents. So J9 saw a little bit of a drop. Set its support at its old resistance, as you guys could tell, at $19. So it went a little bit below 19, but not much. Saw resistance at about 19.20, and is now seeing a consistent small downward trend. I'm not too sure if you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm seeing, but it used to have a resistance at $19. As you can see, like it would struggle to go above. It broke above. And this is a pretty common trend when it goes above, comes down, hits the resistance at 19, and then pops right through, hits now new resistance at 1930, comes back down to its old resistance, but now it's a new support, so now it bounces at about $19, and now hits a resistance at $19.19, and then starts to see a downward trend. So not the margin of profit that I think it's worth using my day trade for. So let's go ahead and move on. I'm actually going to see what you guys have to say. Whoa, sorry. So BIOC is actually seeing a downward trend. So this is why you set your alerts. So right now its support is at 151. We identified the previous support at 150 because of the previous resistance that it had. And I hope that you guys can see what it is that I'm talking about and it makes sense to you. If you guys have traded with us before, we know how important it is to identify support and resistance. And when there is a old resistance, at $1.50, it tends to be a new support. And we just got a green candlestick showing that it's in an upward trend. So I'm going to go into this one just because I feel like the risk is worth it for the margin of profit that's there. Um, but I really need that volume to increase. Oh, and the reason that the title for today is now called the $1,000 challenge is because I'm not trading with my Robinhood account. I ran out of my day trades, so I'm gonna have to trade with my Fidelity account today. So I hope that made sense to you guys. I don't know if you guys saw also for PBR. Right now it's at $8.63, so that definitely isn't a good sign. But let's go ahead and focus on this one. I actually don't like how struggling to break above 153. My margin for profit. And again, please don't trade based on what it is that I'm trading, but trade on what you see and identify potential on. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. The margin for profit at the resistance that it previously had is $3.86. Not necessarily a huge amount of profit, but more than for this $1,000 challenge. But again, I'm not doing the $1,000 challenge, so but I still want to make sure that I go according to that. So will BIOC go back to where it was at 185? I mean, that's the big question. We know that the support is at 150, so if I get in right now, I can set my stop loss at 1.499, meaning that my risk is in a sense very minimal. Let's say I get in right now, cut losses there. My risk is about 1% with my potential for profit being about 158. So I think I have a pretty decent plan set up. Now, let me go ahead. I'm going to be trading through my Fidelity app real quick. And, alrighty. PIOC. And it's at the resistance at 153. So I don't necessarily want to buy there. Now there's sellers. Now it's at 151. That would, in a sense, be a better buy. So I'm going to put my limit at 151 and try to see if I can get filled. I'm going to go in with, let's see how many shares. I'm going to go in with 2,000 shares at 151 and see if I get filled. So it's a little bit over $3,000, which is what I normally would trade with when I had my account with TD Ameritrade over the $25,000. So, all right, now I have my alerts set. So, or I should set my alerts. I apologize. Let's do when it goes below 151 because that's the current support. And if it breaks above the resistance at 153, again, just staying up to date on what's going on. Now, PBR is one that I'm going to want to look at because of a huge pullback that it had. So again, chasing a red stock. So I think this could be a good one. Now, it's all about not adding to a losing trade, but making sure that it's in an upward trend. And unfortunately, PBR is not doing that. The RSI indicator, continues to show that it's a good buy, but it's not showing signs of an upward trend. So it's more oversold. People are just, cutting losses, I believe. And then with this SMA line, you guys can see this SMA line is this red line, and it's just seen a downward trend, because it's below this SMA line. So hope that makes sense to you. It looks like there is a current support, and it's most likely bouncing off this purple Bollinger Band, and at around 860, bounced to about 866, and I was seeing another downward trend. So it's just a continuous downward trend. So I'm going to set my alerts for this one as well. And then I'm going to set my alert when it goes above it. All right, but let's go ahead and now go to the red stocks. The red stocks, the reason I find these somewhat interesting is because they build these margins for profit since they drop so much that, if it's not for today, maybe the following day, that, it can make up some of that margin that it lost, right? So let's go to D, guys. That was oh, and look, we're right at the support. So all of a sudden it had a pullback or had a huge drop during pre-market hours. So let's focus on that. Hit a low or hit lows of 1820. Right now, it's actually closer to the 18 support. Let's see. Is it seeing an upward trend? Well, the SMA line is saying it is. RSI is a little too high for me. So what I'm going to do is, well, it's actually seeing a downward trend now. There broke below 810. Can we get it closer to this 1805 support? All right. But again, it's an $18 stock with this margin of profit that it has is very minimal, not even the 2.33% profit that we're looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and move on real quick. I want to see the volume. So GLYC, I would expect this one to have quite a bit of a drop. If I'm not mistaken, this is one that, what the heck? Yeah, this one's one that's made up a lot of margin, and is now most likely going to continuously see downward trends because of probably it being way overbought. So I'm going to go ahead and continue ETRM. Huge drop, support, resistance, approaching support again. So I'm just going to set my alert. PBR. Again, this is why, wow. I didn't see this candlestick before, but it had a huge drop all the way down to 825. So it's now most likely going to slowly staircase down here. I actually didn't see that the first time, but if you see, it's following this purple Bollinger Band perfectly and bouncing off of it. So Wow, that's so sad. So a huge drop to 825 and it's now seeing a consistent downward trend. And what does that most likely mean? Well, based on just previous experience, when it has this huge drop, it starts seeing a downward trend, it slowly starts staircasing down to, the support. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna have this alert me when it drops below. So based on my experience, I would personally try to stay away until it gets closer to the support. Yeah, so it just broke the previous support that it had at $8.61, and now is most likely going to be dropping below $8.60. And that's why it's so important to, not add to a losing, trade. And so important to have a max stop loss and just cut losses as soon as possible. Let's see, JDST is one that we trade quite often, but obviously isn't doing very well today. It has a support at about 70.44. AMD went last year below 1120. That was a red stock today, right? Yeah. What's the margin of profit here? 3% for an $11 stock. Wow. This can be an interesting one. I'm sorry that I'm not like commentating so much, because I really like focusing a little bit more. AMD seems to be more of a swing trade, right? One that you might want to not necessarily day trade. So for those that aren't doing or ran out of day trades, if you identify potential on a stock, you want to do again a little bit more of just a 2 day or 3 day analysis. You might want to go a little bit further back to like 10 days and stuff like that, and see how these EMA and SMA lines indicate the stock to be. Because right now, with this 10-day analysis with 30-minute candlesticks, it's at 31 SMA, and based on its previous, or I mean, I'm sorry, RSI. And based on its previous RSIs, when it is at these low points, with this 10-day frequency, it tends to identify these supports pretty well, these bounces, right? But again, it's not showing signs of an upward trend, so it's not that I want to get in at the lowest point and hoping that it bounces now. Is that letting AMD actually show me that it's bouncing? So when it starts seeing an upward trend, and then choosing to invest at that point, because right now it just continues to drop, and it's not necessarily something that looks very, um, let's see, I'm gonna put my other one breaks below. Whoa. Yeah, it keeps breaking all the supports, and that's definitely not something that we want to see. All right, and let's see if I can answer some of your guys' questions. I apologize. I want to invest with you. That's by Johnny Gibbs. What software do you have? This TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. So thank you, Johnny. I'm here visiting, and I have a meeting here in Orange County, California. So maybe we can have a little meeting, and if not, meet up maybe tomorrow morning, and see if we can get a small group to meet up at like Starbucks or something like that, and that would be actually pretty cool. Yeah, BIOC continues. Wait, no, BIOC bounce. That was the wow. Thinking about getting in, not too sure if you guys remembered right as we were going. So it really did bounce from the 151, and is now approaching resistance at 155, and then it has that margin or that resistance at 157. So okay, my alerts on that. So that played out pretty well. Fortunately, I wasn't able to jump in, and it had a little pullback. Right now it's at 153. So we'll just go ahead and continue moving on. See, and these are the bounces that we're talking about. So it's at $8.60. Saw a bounce at 865, and yeah, it's below 18. And it hit a resistance at 865, but it's just, yes, it bounced, but this mark, like, it's not breaking these resistance. The volume isn't necessarily spiking, and it's not more of a momentum, stock at the moment. And you definitely want to make sure that you have good momentum going in because although you can get in right now and you got an adequate price at 860, this margin of profit is less than one. I mean, it's already seen a pullback, so most likely it's not going to continue to break that. So you want to make sure you get into a healthy stock that is seeing somewhat of a break, right? And we're definitely not seeing that with PBR. And with this seeing a consistent downward trend, I just don't think that this is going to be worth the risk, right? So let's go to three guys since my alert just went off for that one. It broke below support at 18. So let's see how often it does that. Has done that before. Support at 1705. That's one of the first bounces. So this could be one. It's already bouncing, already showing signs of an upward trend. And it did that very quickly. Yeah, wait, then try that at the other side. Says Ricky, do you have your stop set on BIOC? I'm actually not in on BIOC. It was just I was performing a technical analysis for you guys on it, so I'm not necessarily on it. Um, I need assistance. TikTok. Feel free to DM me if you're part of TechBud Solutions, because that's the best way to reach out to me, Mr. TikTok. It's like I'm in OC. Will you post the local meetup on the FB group? Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that and see if any of you guys want to meet up. Okay, I like that. Support is. Oh, I think when he was talking about BIOC, it was the limit that I set on BIOC, but I haven't gotten filled. Oh, AMD went last year below. Yeah, AMD continues to see a downward trend. So BIOC. Oh, and I'm most likely going to get filled now. That's funny. Yep, I still haven't gotten filled. Oh, nope, it's still working. Still haven't gotten filled. So although it shows buyers at 151, this is what's really important is that there's only sellers at 153 and stuff like that. Other than that, when it drops to 152, we're gonna have to see more of a drop, and it doesn't look like we're really seeing that. So haven't gotten filled yet. So we'll just follow up with that. But for this meetup that you guys want to do, I'd be more than happy to meet up with you guys. So I'll go ahead and post it on the Facebook on the TechBud Solutions Facebook platform. And if you guys aren't a part of it already, again, the link is provided for you down below. Once you guys get accepted, there is this top pin post that has all the links, and the rules to our group chats. So feel free to click the link. I mean, I'd love to be a part of your success and love to have you as a member within our group. It's a very welcoming community, and it's definitely great for exposure, right? Especially for those that are a little bit newer to trading. But other than that, I'm going to continue trading and following that specific stock BIOC because of this support that it really has. I feel like my margin for profit, I'm at, or my margin or potential for risk is very small. If I get in at 151, the support is at 150. So if it breaks below support, I'll cut losses. And again, I'm trading with my Fidelity account, so I don't necessarily care about day trades. And then the potential for profit is so much greater. It's around 160 to 185 overall for the day. It looks like AMD just broke support again, and this thing's just dropping. It's at $11.07. And again, RSI indicator shows that it's actually, let me share my screen with this one for you guys, because this might be a good one for you guys to look at. Again, never trade based on anyone else's opinion, but simply analyze. This is why it's so important for exposure that at least we talk about it in the right way, right? Making sure that you guys make or are the final decision makers on what you invest in, but never go based on anyone else's opinion. So AMD is the micro or advanced micro device mechanism that is used by Apple, but right now it's just seen a consistent drop, and it has a resistance overall about like 150, 160, and it's seen a downward trend. It saw an upward trend during pre-market hours, but then just saw a big drop. The old realistically 11 is going to be ideally where you're going to where I'm going to want to like really make my decision if I want to swing or day trade AMD, just because it continuously just sees a downward trend, and the old resistance, as you guys can see within this pre-market area, was at $11, but the old support was about like $10.61, if not even at $10. So I really want to wait for it to approach the support and make my decision if I'm going to choose to invest. And that's just based on my opinion. And you guys set up a plan for your success. So what I'm going to simply do for you guys is actually put that the purchase price is going to be around $11. Target sell price will be a little bit closer to this resistance that it's seen at about $11.35 to $11.50. 11.40, and again we'll follow with a trailing stop loss. Our max stop loss, since we know that $11 is the support, or where it is that we want to buy. I like cutting my losses pretty quickly, especially with my Fidelity account, since I don't have to worry about day trades. So I'm going to cut my losses right below support if it does break it. Right, I'm most likely not going to get in at 11.05. I apologize. That is the support, so that would be more right here. But for the actual purchase price, I'm actually going to want to see the bounce. So once it bounces at, once it bounces at $11, then that's necessarily going to be it. And I guess, I mean, we can catch it live and see if I end up jumping in resistance. It's going to be at $11.35. So about 99, and then price is right now at 11.05. So right now it calculates my my target sell price being 11.40, my target purchase price 11.05, my max stop loss is at 10.99, right? Potential for risk is a little bit over 0.5%. Potential for profits a little bit over 3%. For this $1,000 challenge, that is ideal. We are approaching support, guys, and we are chasing a red stock. Now, what's going to happen? Let's see. Volume is really picking up. SMA is way below. Broke support, and that's totally okay. Look, we didn't jump in, but it's dropping so quickly. And this is why it's so important. So this volume just spiked. If you guys could see, my volume indicator it's going to pop up most likely right here where my cursor's at. So let me hover over it. It's at 4.7 million. Oh my goodness. Wow. You see, and it's building this margin for profit. So again, where's it going to bounce? So 11.90, is that the bounce? We're going to have to act pretty quickly. But again, you don't want to add to your losing trades. So that's why it's so important to make sure that it's a solid bounce to start seeing an upward trend. And it's picking up, my goodness. Will it break above $11? I'm going to have my order ready for AMD. Alrighty, so let me go ahead and AMD. No, it didn't break that resistance. But it saw a nice little pop. Oh, breaking resistance. Nope. I'm going to have my trade ready. So I'm going to, whoa, that's way too many shares. I'm going to try to go into 280 shares. So be right over a little bit of $11. Broke resistance, sweet. So let's see. So it's starting to show signs of an upward trend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get in at the current market price. Alrighty. All right, I got filled at 11 flat. And now what's my plan? Well, now I'm going to have to change my plan here, and I'm going to stick to it. So my purchase price was at 11. We identified the new support, right, where it bounced was at 1090. So I'm going to cut losses if it goes below that. So at 1089. So my potential for risk is a little bit greater, but now so is my potential for profit since I got in at a little bit of a lower price. It's at 3.5% instead of 3.5. So it almost averages out. So now we're seeing 1102 to be the bounce. And this is what I mean by catching at the bounce. This SMA line is now showing a sign of upward momentum. And guys, in no way, like if you guys don't see the potential that AMD has, don't feel bad. Don't jump into it. 100%. If you're not feeling it, don't do it. I can't stress that enough. But I want to make sure that you guys feel 100% comfortable with what it is that that you're investing in, and that's really just it. Don't like overthink it, nothing like that. You do you focus on what you think will do good. And I think that's really what's going to lead to your success when you as the investor can see the potential and can set up a plan for success, and not go based on anyone else's opinion, because that's probably going to be one of the biggest mistakes that you can make, is trading when other people are telling you what to buy and what to sell. And in no way do I want to be someone that negatively has an impact on your life, right? So again, just use my videos for exposure, and kind of how I, how my whole thought process is with it. And if it makes sense to you and you guys try it out, and if it works for you with, your simulation trading, again, no real monetary risk, then you can make the decision on whether, you choose to, create your own style of trading similar to mine. But if it doesn't work for you, then, take what you like from mine and what you think I do good, and take what I do bad, and fix it so it's a little bit more beneficial for you guys. So I hope that makes sense. I want to hear what you guys have to say about AMD. So bad news just came out on AMD. It looks like you guys are having your own conversation, um, with one another. That's 100% is something that I want. So that's really cool. I'm gonna set my alert real quick. So we got the bounce $11. It hit lows of 1090, but is now seeing an upward trend. We're going to see somewhat of a struggle, I believe, at $11 and 1110. Whoa, little pullback. But we're already up. I mean, we're up a very low amount. So I'm going to put my alerts, once it goes below that, just so I can be alerted. I mean, my stop loss will. Oh shoot, I haven't even set my stop loss. Let me do that right now. I want to be alerted when it goes above. And look, it's seen an upward trend, and this is what we wanted to see. So I'm gonna shout it out, within the TechBud solutions. Like, how many shares did you get? It looks like they're all some of them are. Look, and they're having, look, in no way are probably some of these guys even watching what it is that I'm doing. But even the people within our group are, talking about AMDs. Like, do you guys like AMD for a swing trade or strictly day trade? And it looks like they're having their own conversation. AMD looking sexy. I agree, but again, if you don't see the potential, don't trade 100%. So AMD bounced at 1090 and now showing signs of upward trend. And that's it. What? Seeing that resistance, I really don't like that resistance, and it's struggling to go above. I mean, it's holding above $11, which is good. So what I'm kind of thinking is, since it's holding above $11 so well, especially right now, Maybe I should move my stop loss from the 1090 to the actual 1099 to minimize my loss overall because it's really holding well. And why even go in the red when I can just cut losses even sooner or just follow with the trailing stop loss? But I really needed to break above this 1110 resistance. And again, I'm sorry that I'm kind of just talking about this, but this is like kind of like the way that I like to think, because if I just think in my head, it doesn't really stick. And speaking and just talking about, obviously you guys are watching for a reason, so I want to make sure that you guys have a better understanding of what it is that I'm trying to understand when it comes to trading this. So I mean, we're moving up there. We broke resistance 1107. It's approaching 1108. It's good amount of buyers. Pull back. So from this bounce to where it's at right now, it's up about 1.57%, which is, fine, great. But the margin for loss that it's had since it's open is 5.41, meaning that just shows how important it is to cut losses as soon as possible wherever you consider your max stop loss. Identify the bounce, make a plan for success on what you're choosing to buy in, and then trade accordingly. Stick to your plan. So what and it's something so simple like that, but that's so difficult for people to actually, like, you know just execute on, because it really takes a lot of discipline. I feel like that's definitely a quality that a lot of people lack. So I'm gonna have my alert set. It looks like we're breaking a couple resistance. I really want to see if I can break, or at least catch in video when it breaks above 1110. But I don't want to be taking too much of your guys' time. I do have a meeting later throughout the day, and then after that, it's pretty much just gonna be um, me just meeting up with different people that I had plans to meet up with. Tomorrow, I'm probably gonna meet up with Tanner, and we're gonna film a video with my Z06 and his GTR. So that should be something fun, at least based on what you guys were saying after I posted it within my Instagram. That's something that you guys liked. So I'm gonna let you guys focus again on your day trades. Thank you guys again so much for everything that is that you guys do for us. If there's anything that I can do to assist you guys in any better way, I am going to be taking time. I'm going to be eating breakfast right now. I have all my alert sets for the stocks that I'm trading, but I'm going to be answering all your questions within the TechBud Solutions group chat. And again, don't tag me. Tag me if you want, if I'm like actually there. But direct message me. That's 100% the best way to reach out to me is within the TechBud Solutions group chat. Direct message me, and I'll try to get. I got a good amount on my drive from California, but because I was driving, I didn't want to, text and drive. So I hope you guys understand that. Um, it looks like PBR broke resistance at 866. That's great, but I'm not trading PBR. So overall, hope you guys have an amazing day. I'm going to be making a recap later on, so be sure to subscribe if you guys aren't already, to see how kind of my trade with BIOC that I have not kind of filled on, and AMD ends up playing out. And yeah, that's really just it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If there's anything, because this live chat that we have available right now goes away. So someone was messaging me yesterday, I believe his name was Sean, and I asked him, like, how can I improve or make this group a little bit more personable to you? So direct message me. Please let me know how I can make, what it is that I'm creating more beneficial for you, because I'm doing it for you guys. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I really want to help as many people as I can, or assist you guys, or at least create content that you guys truly enjoy. So I hope you guys can see that. And I'm more than willing to elaborate on more specific topics, but I need to know what you guys want, because if I don't know and you guys continue to complain, then let me know, and then I'll be sure to accommodate your needs. So thank you guys again for understanding. Hope you guys have an amazing day. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, guys.